There is something I need to tell you, something that was never meant to be heard. You know me, or at least you think you do. My name is Thomas the Tank Engine, and this is the story of the episode where I disappeared. Not broken, not delayed, not sent away for repairs, gone, completely gone. And for a long time, nobody ever told you why. It began like any other morning on the island of Sodor. The sky was pale blue, the rails still cool from the night air, and the first light of dawn stretched across the hills like a quiet promise. Steam drifted slowly from my funnel, rising in soft, white ribbons. Everything felt ordinary, safe, predictable. But there was something strange that day. The tracks ahead of me were silent. Not quiet in the peaceful way mornings usually are, no birds calling, no wind through the trees, no distant whistles from the other engines, just stillness. The kind of stillness that feels like the world is holding its breath. I remember Percy calling my name from across the yard. His voice sounded far away, not distant in space, but distant in time, like an echo that had already happened. He asked where I was going. I told him I didn't know, and that was the truth. There was a section of track I had never seen before. It wasn't on any map, not in any timetable, not in any of the railway records, but it was there. A single line branching away from the main route, curving gently into a stretch of fog that clung low to the ground like something alive. I should have stopped. I should have turned back. But engines don't question rails. We follow them. That is what we are made to do. So I moved forward, slowly at first, then steadily, then without hesitation at all. Behind me, Sodor faded into the mist. Ahead of me, there was nothing. The fog swallowed sound first. My wheels still turned, but I could no longer hear them. My pistons moved, but their rhythm was gone. Even the pressure in my boiler felt distant, muted, unreal. Then the light began to change. Not darker, not brighter, just wrong. The shadows stretched in directions that didn't make sense. The rails beneath me shimmered like reflections on water, even though they were solid steel. The air felt thick, heavy, like moving through memory instead of space. And then I realized something that froze me more completely than any winter storm ever had. The track behind me had disappeared. There was no turning back. There was no Sodor anymore. Only forward. Time behaves strangely in places that are not meant to exist. I don't know how long I traveled there. Minutes, hours, years. There were no stations, no signals, no landmarks, just endless track, suspended in fog that never moved, never lifted, never revealed anything beyond a few yards ahead. And then I heard it. A whistle. Not mine, not Percy's, not Gordon's, not any engine I had ever known. It was low, hollow, metallic, like sound passing through something broken. It called once, then again, then closer. Shapes began to form in the fog. Engines, dozens of them. Old designs, forgotten models, incomplete frames, some with no paint, some with no numbers, some barely more than metal shells resting silently on rails that crossed mine at impossible angles. They did not move, They did not speak, but I could feel them watching me, waiting, like they had been there for a very, very long time. That is when I understood where I was. This was not a railway. This was where unfinished journeys ended, where cancelled plans rested, where forgotten ideas were stored, where stories that were never completed continued forever without conclusion. This was the place where lost episodes go. I tried to stop. I tried to reverse. I tried to release steam, signal, anything to break free from the motion pulling me forward. But the rails beneath me no longer belonged to the world I knew. They did not respond to weight or pressure or force. They only carried, endlessly. The whistle came again, closer now, and through the fog, something moved. An engine, larger than any I had seen, but unfinished. Its shape shifted slightly each time I looked at it. Parts missing, parts changing, pieces of designs that never settled into one final form. It had no number, no name, no destination. It moved without wheels touching the rails, gliding silently, slowly crossing in front of me. And when it passed, the fog around me grew thicker, heavier, darker. I could feel something pulling at my memory. My roots, my friends, my name. Even Sodor itself began to feel distant, like something I had imagined rather than lived. That was when I became afraid, truly afraid. Not of damage, not of breakdown, but of being forgotten. I don't know what made me fight it. Maybe it was Percy's voice that morning. Maybe it was the warmth of sunlight on the rails. Maybe it was simply the memory of being useful, needed, real. But I forced steam through my system harder than I ever had before. The pressure built beyond safety limits. Metal screamed, joints trembled, my wheels strained against rails that resisted movement like thick liquid. And for a moment, everything cracked. The fog tore open like fabric, light burst through, sound returned, and suddenly, I was moving backward. When the fog cleared, I was back on the branch line. The same morning light, the same rails, the same world. But something had changed. Percy was there, staring at me as if he had seen a ghost. He said I had been gone. Not minutes, not hours. 3 days. No signal, no track disturbance, no explanation. The railway searched everywhere, but I had simply vanished. They never found the track I followed. It does not appear on any survey. It cannot be reached again. And yet, sometimes, early in the morning, when the air is very still and the fog settles low across the rails, I hear that whistle again. Faint, distant, waiting. There was never an official report, no record entered into railway history, no explanation given to the public. The timetable simply continued, and the episode was never aired. But I remember.